Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the DKS part number HR-HD45. This is a heavy-duty hinge reinforcement is what it is. And this is a piece of steel that is used to be welded into the backside of a frame or into a door when you need to add a hinge to that location. Overall length of this item, about 10 inch. Overall width, about 1.25 inches. The part number has HD in it, which I'm going to go with means heavy duty. The thickness of this material is 0.177 thick. Has a particular offset that's here, and that offset is going to be added to the thickness of the material that you are installing this over, okay, which will give you the dimension from the top of the frame down to where this plate is going to set. Okay. Now, the way I would go about determining what hinge this was for, in terms of the thickness of the hinge leaf, and we know it's 4.5 because it's, you know, it's 4.5 in the part number, so this is going to take a 4.5 inch hinge. But you know, if they're talking to us about heavy duty, in a 4.5 inch hinge, you can do two leaf thicknesses, 134 thousandths and then 180 thousandths. So what we need to do is measure that offset between up here and over here. And what I simply do is I lay a flat bar across there that I happen to have laying around for such sort of applications. I then measure the thickness of the bar, and I'll subtract that from what my caliper tells me is the total dimension, which is 0.277 or thereabouts, 0.278. So 0.278, I'm going to put that into my calculator, minus the thickness of the bar, and it is square, 0.186. 0.278 minus 0.186 is 0.09. Now, let me make sure I did that right. Right, okay. So that gives us the offset from the top of here to the bottom of here, so 0.09. So then what you have to add to that is the thickness of the steel that you're putting, that you're going to lay this underneath. Okay, so let's assume that it's a 16 gauge frame. I forget what that is, 0.0625, okay, sure. So 16 gauge is 0.0625. We're then going to add to our dimension 0.0625, and we come up with 0.154 inch. So if this is a heavyweight hinge, if this was a standard weight hinge, we're already far too deep for that. And plus, what happens is this hinge plate doesn't sit exactly flat, which serves to increase the effective depth of the plate. So it's 0.155 basically. So it's about 25 thousandths shy of 0.18, which would be a heavy duty, a 180, a 0.180 heavy duty hinge. And that 0.025 is going to really be consumed in that fact that that plate's not going to sit flat inside of there. So what we do is when we weld these into a frame, we will place the hinge plate into the area and we'll attach a hinge to it. And we'll have one standard heavyweight, one standard weight hinge in the shop for use to make sure that we get that completely flat with the frame or the door and make any adjustments necessary. But this offset would be considered appropriate for your heavyweight hinge, your 0.180 hinge. Okay, this is going to be drilled and tapped for holes in the template pattern, and that's obviously a 1224 thread that's going to be there. The weight of this item is about 0.6 pound. Okay, about 0.6 pound. Let's take a look at the extended description now on the camera and see if there's any supporting information that's of use. Okay, so we are looking at the item here. They say that it's 7 gauge thick. I don't recall if I told you the thickness of the material or not, but let's measure it now. 7 gauge. My caliper is telling me 0.175 thick, 0.175 thick. There is a link 1224 Hinge screw related product. If you're looking for screws for this, here is a screw that we've added here that you may find of use for attaching hinges with this plate. Okay. Now, not much to see here except here from the link to the manufacturer's page. What we can do there is take a look at the DKS product catalog. They are an importer of steel doors, steel frames, and accessory material from Asia. And they will have a variety of different parts available. And as we are able to look through here, we'll see a variety of different accessories for the hollow metal industry. Anchors of all types. Tabs and reinforcing guides, more reinforcing plates, etc. So when it comes to the fabrication of hollow metal in a shop, you'd be able to purchase, quite a full offering of a variety of accessory material used in the remanufacturing or customizing of hollow metal. They have their full product catalog here, which will allow you to review primarily their doors and frames, and they are known to have a pretty deep inventory. Obviously, importing from Asia is going to require a substantial, a substantial amount of material to come in because of the freight concern. Although I have done one of their expandable masonry frames in the not too distant past, a couple of months ago, I think, and this client was turning this into a level 7 opening, which is a reference to a ballistic rated opening, and they were going to line this frame with ballistic rated material to achieve a level 7, which is extremely high on the ballistic scale. Other material here from them, so it's a typical hollow metal catalog in the sense that they list their doors and frames and their certifications and applications that their material can be used in. I've sold plenty of their doors. It's just a garden variety imported steel door that is going to serve, I think, quite well for those applications that are hyper price sensitive and less concerned about the long-term condition of that door as a secondary concern over the cost, the initial cost. Okay, let's wrap up this video on camera. Fairly typical item here. What has struck me is I would like to tell you what the part number is for the standard weight version. And the standard weight version of this, assuming this is the HD or the heavy duty leaf thickness. Okay, we have of course the HR-HD45. They can also do this as an HR-HD50, which would be a 5-inch size. The standard weight version of this is going to be their part number FRHR-1. That is going to be both smaller and thinner. Okay. But it would certainly go hand in hand that with a heavier hinge, a thicker hinge, you'll have a thicker plate as well. Okay, so that would be your part number for the standard weight. Again, that is FRHR-1. Let's put that into the site. FRHR-1. I'm just making sure that that does indeed come up. Yeah, definitely. FRHR-1. Okay, simple, no-nonsense provider of hollow metal doors, frames, and accessories such as this. If you have any questions on the HR-HD45 heavy-duty hinge reinforcement or any other DKS product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. If you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please click subscribe as well, and even share the video with someone that you know. And if you have any questions for a future video, please send them our way, and we will make every attempt to oblige. And thank you very much.